This is 17-year-old Nikita Kasap. He is standing between his mother Tatiana and his stepfather Donald. They are smiling. It looks like any family photo you might find on a refrigerator or a mantelpiece on or around February 11th, 2025. In a home on Cedar Hills Drive in the village of Waukesha, Wisconsin, Nikita Kasap shot Donald Mayer in the back of the head while Donald sat at his desk in the den. When Tatiana Kasap, 35, came home, her son shot her 3 times. She was walking through the door of the home where she lived with her husband and her child. And then Nikita Kasap did something that defies every instinct of human behavior. He stayed. He did not run. He did not call for help. He did not leave the house. He stayed inside the home on Cedar Hills Drive with the bodies of his mother and stepfather for 17 days. Cedar Hills Drive is a residential road lined with modest homes and trimmed lawns. Nothing about it suggests violence. Nothing about it prepares you for what happened inside one of those homes in February of 2025. Tatiana Kasap was 35 years old. She was originally from the Republic of Moldova, a small country between Romania and Ukraine. She brought Nikita to the United States when he was in grade school. She wanted a better life for him. She wanted the opportunities that America promised to people willing to work for them.
Yes.
Is it Nikita?
Yes.
Do you want me to call you Nikita or something else?
You can call me that.
Okay. Do you have a middle name?
I do not.
So you're born in Moldova in 2007. Mom is Tatiana.
Yes.
Is your biological dad in the picture at all?
Well, I think they divorced like in 2011 or something. 2010.
How long did you live in Moldova?
Until June of 2017.
So for 10 years?
Yeah.
You remember it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Tell me about it.
Well, just a regular childhood.
Yeah. You came to the U.S. in 2017?
Yes.
Can you kind of talk me through that, how that came about?
Well, I think like in 2015, my mom met my stepdad online, like dating site or whatever.
Yeah.
And then went on some vacations with him, like all over Europe and stuff like that. Then eventually they married, and then June 2017 moved to America.
So you guys lived in Waukesha. You, your mom, and your stepdad. I know you guys got a dog, Toby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In that same house in Cedar Hills?
Yes.
Okay. Going to school, going to Waukesha West. How's high school?
It's good.
Yeah?
Good grades.
You do well?
Yeah.
What do you enjoy?
I suppose history the most.
Yeah? Okay. Anything you don't like about school?
I guess waking up in the morning, kind of
Having to go?
Every high school kid does, right?
All right. You mentioned that you guys moved here in 2017. Do you have I said you don't have family in Moldova. Where do you have family?
My stepdad's family is in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And my grandma, on my mom's side, is in Italy.
Is that Lydia?
Yes.
Okay. The family in Massachusetts, do you consider your stepdad's mom to be grandma? Do you refer to her as grandma, or is it kind of?
I mean, I never even called my stepdad dad or father.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
All right. So they're family, but maybe you're just not that close with them?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? Okay. All right.
Did you visit with them a lot, the family in Massachusetts?
Yeah, every year, Thanksgiving.
In late 2024, something changed inside Nikita Kasap. The boy who ran track and had parents at every meet began communicating with people online who told him he was part of something important, something bigger than Waukesha, something bigger than school, something that would change the world. He connected with at least one Russian-speaking individual through encrypted messaging. The conversations were found on his phone after his arrest. In those messages, Nikita asked questions that reveal the mind of a teenager who had been convinced that violence was a path to significance. So while in Ukraine, I'll be able to live a normal life, he asked. Even if it's found out I did it, the plan, as Nikita understood it, was enormous. He would acquire a drone and explosives. He would carry out an attack on a high-profile political target. He would then flee the country by ship to Ukraine, where he would hide for a decade under the protection of the people who were guiding him. It was a plan that sounded, to a 17-year-old, like the plot of a movie. It sounded real. It sounded important. It sounded like he mattered. He wrote a 3-page document. Investigators would later find screenshots of it saved on his phone. The document outlined his ideology, a mixture of extremist views, hatred, and a belief that destroying existing power structures.
At school, high school Spanish, but just basic stuff.
Okay.
So what do you speak fluently? Just English? Do you speak
And Russian.
Russian fluently? Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I know English, that's it.
Yeah, I took Spanish too, but I didn't retain any of it. Are there any clubs at school?
Yeah. The environmental club,
Okay.
the, like Interact is called. So basically like local community type of, volunteering.
Oh, okay.
Then, FBLA.
What's that?
It's like, it stands for like Future Business Leaders of America.
Oh,
And there's
okay.
different like things you can choose, like different, events or topics. And I choose cybersecurity one.
Okay. Is that like a resume builder type of thing, a good thing to have on a resume?
There's like, an exam you take, and there's like, regionals and state and nationals.
Oh,
To the regionals, I got second place.
oh.
So,
Is it a team thing or is it just you individually?
well, the cybersecurity one is individual, others, some teams, some,
Okay, well that's cool. When did you do that?
I was like, well, it was this year, like February or,
Okay, well cool, congratulations. It's pretty good accomplishment.
and I was in the process also of joining National Honor Society as well.
Okay. Grades are really good then,
Yeah.
obviously? Okay.
Where do you
Good
rank?
grade, it's okay.
Where do you rank in the class, do you know?
Third,
That's pretty good. All right. What's the plans after high school?
I was thinking Madison.
Yeah? For what?
I was thinking something STEM related, maybe engineering. I wasn't entirely sure.
Like, what is the, like, if you're thinking of a dream job, what is it? Don't know yet?
Hard question.
Yeah. Most kids don't know when they go through college.
Engineering, that's a lot of math. Are you a math lover?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot of math. Math is hard to get into when you've got the grades.
I kind of want to talk to you about why we're here today, Nikita, and like, you know, why you're out in Kansas and what happened, okay? I really want to know why you left your house, what the plan is, okay? Before I ask you any questions about that, I need you to understand your rights. Has this been read to you before, your rights?
The Miranda rights?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any questions before I read them to you?
No.
And again, we have a feeling like we know what happened and when it happened. We have no idea why this happened, okay? The only one who knows why is you, and why you were out in Kansas and why you left, okay? And I'm really hoping you talk to me about why this happened, more than what, all right? This is your story. No one knows it. I don't want to tell you why this happened. I don't want to put words in your mouth and say, I think this is why it happened, or she thinks this is why it happened, or we look through different phones or web pages or social media, what have you, and we just make a guess and we say, we think it's because of this, all right? You're the only one that can tell us why. And I promise you, I do want to know. More than anything else, I want to know why. All right? While we're talking here, you can answer any of the questions I ask. You can answer none of them. If you need to use the bathroom, use the bathroom. If you want to have a drink, have a drink. If you want some food, I'll get you food. Okay? If you just want a break and you want to sit here by yourself for a little while, you'll get that. Okay? All right. Nikita, before I ask you any questions, I want you to understand what your rights are. Okay? You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that? Can I get you to verbally?
Yes,
No, you're fine. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. Do you understand that?
yes.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer before questioning and have him or her present during questioning. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before questioning if you wish. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand each of these rights as I have read them to you?
Yes.
He sent $8,700 in Bitcoin from his stepfather's account to the people online who had promised to sell him the drone and the explosives. They took the money, and then they disappeared. There was no drone, there were no explosives, there was no revolution, there was no ship to Ukraine. The people who told Nikita he was part of something historic were scammers. They took his stepfather's Bitcoin and vanished. Judge Ralph Ramirez would later summarize this in a single devastating sentence. He thought he was part of a big plan that was going to make a big impact for him and others, and he was scammed. But by the time Nikita realized the plan was fake, his parents were already dead.
Okay. All right, so, Mr. Cassip, I'm going to talk to you now about this plea questionnaire and waiver of rights form and all the other documents that I've received. First of all, I want you to understand that according to this document, it indicates that the state's offer in this case is upon a plea of not guilty, other than not guilty, excuse me, to counts 1 and 2. In other words, a plea of guilty or no contest to those counts. On or before February 19th, and not filing other motions, the state would dismiss and read in the remaining counts. And at the time of sentencing, both sides are free to argue as to what they believe to be the appropriate sentences. Is that your understanding of what the state's position is?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And is it your understanding, sir, that you and your attorney are going to be free to argue for whatever you believe to be an appropriate sentence or sentences in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is it also correct, sir, that you and Mr. Raffel have discussed the parameters, that is, the extent of the sentences? That is, if you're found guilty of these 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, on each count it carries with it a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
But on the other side, there is an option where the court could allow for extended supervision eligibility, not a promise of it, but the opportunity or eligibility for extended supervision after 20 years you've served on each sentence. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it's not a minimum, but it's the possibility exists for extended supervision after 20 years on each sentence. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you feel that Mr. Raffel's explained that to you adequately?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to talk to you now about some of the other aspects of this plea questionnaire and waiver of rights form. Mr. Raffel, you have a copy of it in front of your client? I do.
On or around February 11th, 2025, Nikita Kasap used a firearm inside the home on Cedar Hills Drive. The sequence was methodical. There was no argument. There was no confrontation. There was no fight that escalated beyond control. This was planned. This was deliberate. This was a 17-year-old executing a decision he had already made. Donald Mayer was in his den. He was sitting at his desk. He was working. His back was to the door. He did not see Nikita enter the room. He did not hear the approach. He did not have time to react. When Tatiana Kasap came home, she walked through the front door of the house she shared with her son and her husband. She was 35 years old. She had crossed an ocean to give her son a life, and as she entered her own home, her own son shot her 3 times. She fell in the entryway, and then the house went quiet. For the next 17 days, Nikita Kasap stayed inside the home on Cedar Hills Drive. The bodies of his mother and stepfather were there. They were not moved. They were not hidden. They were not clean. They remained where they fell. Donald at his desk, Tatiana near the door, and the 17-year-old who put them there ate, slept, and existed in the same house, in the same rooms, breathing the same air as the decomposing remains of the 2 people who had raised him. 17 days. That is not a typo.
The point of us talking, more than anything, I promise you, Nikita, is that I want to know why. So that I can tell your family in Massachusetts, so I can tell your grandma Lydia, because I've talked to Robert, I've talked to Judith, I've talked to Tanya. I didn't talk to Lydia, my partner did. No one understands why this happened. And they're looking to me to give them some of the answers, and I can't give it to them without talking to you. So you can tell me you don't want to talk.
Yeah, I think I'd rather first talk to an attorney.
Okay, that's your right. Do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
Okay. All right, just hang tight again. If you want one of those, by all means, you can have it. All right?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You got it.
There's water too for you.
Thank you.
All right, Bob, so we're going to move to a different area.
Yep, all right.
Okay, so kind of put you in handcuffs. We're going to kind of do the old-fashioned way, just behind the back, so if you could just stand up, face the wall to your left of me. It's a short ride, so they'll come off pretty quick, so just because we don't want to be on their ones with us right now. Was too tight or anything?
No, that's fine.
You all right? Okay. All right, we're just going to go back out to that car you came in. There's a short.
On or around February 24th, 2025, 13 days after the murders, Nikita Kasap finally left the house on Cedar Hills Drive. He did not leave empty-handed. He took his stepfather's SUV. He took $14,000 in cash. He took jewelry. He took both of his parents' passports. He took both of their driver's licenses. He took his stepfather's firearm, the same weapon he had used to kill them. He loaded everything into the SUV and drove south, out of Wisconsin, through Illinois, through Missouri, into Kansas. He drove for 4 days. And during those 4 days on the road, while the bodies of his parents decomposed in a house that neighbors had not yet thought to check, Nikita Kasap used his phone to search for things that would later make the district attorney describe him as someone who should never be released into the community. He searched for serial killers. He searched for school shootings. He searched for mass shootings around the country. He was not searching for news. He was not searching out of curiosity. He was searching with intent, the kind of intent that prosecutors use to argue for the maximum sentence.
And is it your understanding, sir, that you and your attorney are going to be free to argue for whatever you believe to be an appropriate sentence or sentences in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is it also correct, sir, that you and Mr. Raffel have discussed the parameters, that is, the extent of the sentences? That is, if you're found guilty of these 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, on each count it carries with it a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
But on the other side, there is an option where the court could allow for extended supervision eligibility, not a promise of it, but the opportunity or eligibility for extended supervision after 20 years you've served on each sentence. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it's not a minimum, but it's the possibility exists for extended supervision after 20 years on each sentence. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you feel that Mr. Raffel's explained that to you adequately?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to talk to you now about some of the other aspects of this plea questionnaire and waiver of rights form. Mr. Raffel, you have a copy of it in front of your client?
I do.
All right. This tells me that you are 18 years of age and you've completed 11 years of school. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
These incidents interfered with your finishing high school, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any problem reading at all?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right. Were you able to read and understand the documents that have been generated in this case? In other words, police reports, statements from witnesses perhaps, or other documents that have been generated in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also, were you able to read and understand these documents that you've submitted to me with the plea questionnaire and waiver of rights form?
Yes, Your Honor.
This also tells me you understand English. That's why I asked this question about your level of education, because it's really not just how far did you get in school, but whether you were able to comprehend and understand all the materials that have been generated in this case. Do you feel you've had time to do that as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, this says you understand the charges to which you're pleading, and in fact, you and your attorneys, I should say, have included with the plea questionnaire what's called the jury instructions for these offenses for first-degree intentional homicide. It's numbered 1010, and it sets out the elements of the offense that the state would have to prove if this case went to trial. Did you review that with Mr. Raffel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand what the state would have to prove if you went to trial in each of these cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to talk about those elements in a little bit, all right? This also tells me you are not receiving any treatment for a mental illness or disorder. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it also true that you've not had any alcohol, medication, or drugs in the last 24 hours?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Raffel, I'm going to ask you about as I always do, about the understanding of English and reading and so on. Mr. Kasap is 18 years of age, was 17, I believe, when you commenced your representation. Do you feel that you've had a sufficient amount of time to review with your client the discovery materials in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And there, I presume, were video recordings as well. Did you review those with him as well?
We did.
All right. Any doubt about his ability to comprehend or understand, or let me take a step back. Any difficulties whatsoever in communicating with your client?
No.
All right. So I'm going to talk to you now about your constitutional rights. This document that you have in front of you says, I understand that by entering this plea, I give up the following constitutional rights. Each right is listed here. There's a box next to each one. Each box has an X through it. Does that mean you've reviewed all those rights with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does that mean you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And does that mean you're giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, tell me if this is true. It says, I give up my right to a trial. True?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tatiana Kasap crossed an ocean to give her son a life. She left Moldova. She came to America. She married a man who treated her child as his own. She stood at track meets on weekday afternoons and watched her boy run. Nikita Kasap believed he was part of a revolution. He believed that people on the internet cared about him, believed in him, needed him. He believed that violence would lead to significance and that destruction would create a better world. He sent $8,700 to strangers who promised him weapons that did not exist for a plan that was never real, in exchange for a future that was always a lie. There was no drone. There were no explosives. There was no ship to Ukraine. There was no revolution. There was a 17-year-old boy, alone in a house on Cedar Hills Drive, with the decomposing bodies of the two people who loved him most in the world. They were at his track meets. He remembered. He said so in court. Through tears, he told the judge that his parents were supportive, that they were present, that they cared. And then the judge told him he would spend the rest of his life in prison, because the boy who remembered the track meets also pulled the trigger. And no amount of tears in a courtroom can undo what happened in that house during 17 days that no one will ever fully understand.